Since the dawn of humanity, the relentless pursuit of power has shaped the course of civilization. Kingdoms and empires were never mere static territories on a map. They were living entities, born, growing, aging, and eventually fading. As Ibn Khaldun eloquently noted, the state has lifespans like individuals. Today, we embark on a journey spanning millennia to explore the mighty powers that once ruled the world, how they ascended through the might of the sword, and how they ultimately vanished into the annals of oblivion. Our narrative commences in the Fertile Crescent, a cradle of civilization where early empires first took root. Here, the Akkadian Empire, established around 2334–2154 BCE, emerged as the first true empire in Mesopotamia, modern-day Iraq. Under the leadership of Sargon of Akkad, it unified Sumerian and Akkadian cities, extending its influence from the Persian Gulf to Anatolia, before its eventual decline due to internal unrest and Gutian invasions. Simultaneously, ancient Egypt was forging an unparalleled legacy of glory. From the Old Kingdom, responsible for the monumental pyramids, to the New Kingdom, 1550 to 1077 BCE, which reached its zenith under pharaohs like Thutmose III and Ramesses II, Egypt stood as a formidable superpower. Controlling vast territories in Nubia and the Levant, its strength derived from the stability of the Nile Valley and its highly organized military, yet it gradually weakened due to internal corruption and external pressures from Sea Peoples and the Assyrians. Subsequently, the Assyrians, 934 to 609 BCE, rose to prominence, building the most powerful military machine of the ancient world. With Nineveh, in modern-day Iraq, as their capital, they dominated the Fertile Crescent and even briefly conquered Egypt, but their vast empire eventually collapsed under the combined might of Median and Babylonian forces. In the 6th century BCE, a new colossus emerged from the Iranian plateau. Cyrus the Great founded the Achaemenid Persian Empire, a realm that would become the first truly global power, stretching majestically across 3 continents: Asia, Africa, and Europe. At its zenith, this colossal empire wielded authority over an estimated 44% of the world's population, a staggering feat of governance for its era. Its ascent was largely attributed to a remarkably sophisticated and centralized administrative system, which efficiently managed its vast and diverse territories. However, even this monumental power found its limits, collapsing in 330 BCE under the relentless campaigns of Alexander the Great of Macedon. Alexander, a military prodigy who remained undefeated in battle, forged an empire that rapidly extended from Greece and Egypt through Persia, reaching as far as the borders of India. Yet, the ephemeral nature of such personal power was starkly revealed upon his sudden death, as his vast Macedonian empire fractured into various Hellenistic successor kingdoms, notably the Seleucid Empire in Syria and the Ptolemaic dynasty in Egypt. Meanwhile, in the distant east, China witnessed its initial unification under the formidable Qin dynasty in 221 BCE, an era marked by monumental projects such as the early construction of the Great Wall. This was succeeded by the influential Han dynasty, which flourished from 202 BCE to 220 CE, existing contemporaneously with the powerful Roman Empire. The Han dynasty not only controlled immense territories, but also crucially opened and secured the legendary Silk Road, establishing vital trade and cultural conduits between East and West, solidifying its status as a major regional hegemon.
No discourse on global power can ignore the monumental legacy of the Roman Empire, a civilization that began as a republic and transitioned into an empire by 27 BCE. Under Emperor Trajan, the empire achieved its greatest territorial extent, enveloping the entire Mediterranean Sea, effectively making it a Roman lake. Rome's unparalleled ascent was rooted in the unwavering discipline of its military legions, its brilliant civil engineering, and a sophisticated administrative framework that connected vast territories. Its engineering marvels, from aqueducts to roads, facilitated communication and commerce, binding the disparate parts of its dominion into a coherent whole. But why did such an immense power ultimately crumble? Historians point to a complex interplay of factors. Overextension rendered its vast borders increasingly indefensible, economic crises plagued its provinces, political corruption eroded its foundations, and relentless invasions by Germanic, barbarian tribes overwhelmed its defenses. The empire eventually cleaved into a western part, which tragically fell in 476 CE, and an eastern part, the resilient Byzantine Empire, centered in Constantinople, which continued to thrive until 1453 CE. Byzantine preserved Roman legal traditions and Greek culture, acting as a crucial bridge between the ancient world and the emerging medieval era, demonstrating a different path to imperial longevity. Its enduring resilience in the face of numerous threats stands as a testament to adaptive governance and strategic defense.
The 7th century CE heralded a dramatic transformation on the global stage with the advent of Islam. The Rashidun Caliphate swiftly emerged, a force that challenged and ultimately defeated ancient empires like the Sasanian Persians and significantly weakened the Byzantines. This was succeeded by the Umayyad dynasty, 661 to 750 CE, which, with Damascus as its capital, expanded into the fifth largest contiguous empire in history, stretching from China in the east to Al-Andalus, modern-day Spain, in the west. The Umayyads, however, eventually succumbed to internal strife and the ascendance of the Abbasid dynasty. The Abbasids ushered in a golden age of intellectual and cultural flourishing in Baghdad, where sciences, philosophy, and translation thrived, establishing their realm as a beacon of learning. Their caliphate remained a symbol of Islamic unity and intellectual prowess until the devastating Mongol invasion in 1258 CE. In 1206 CE, Genghis Khan unified the nomadic Mongol tribes, forging the Mongol Empire, which would become the largest contiguous land empire in history. Their cavalry's innovative tactics and swiftness swept across continents, extending their dominion from Korea to Hungary. However, this immense scale ultimately contributed to its fragmentation. After the death of Kublai Khan, the empire fractured into 4 independent khanates, a common fate for empires built on sheer military might rather than deep administrative integration.
The 16th century saw the emergence of gunpowder empires as new global powers, fundamentally altering the dynamics of warfare and statecraft. The Ottoman Empire, founded by Osman I, transformed into a formidable world power after the monumental conquest of Constantinople in 1453 CE. Under the reign of Suleiman the Magnificent, it reached its apex, controlling vast territories across Europe, Africa, and Asia, a truly multi-continental dominion. Its sophisticated Janissary corps, advanced naval fleet, and resilient administrative system ensured its longevity and formidable presence for centuries. However, internal corruption, conservative religious establishment, and external pressures led to its gradual decline, officially dissolving after World War I in 1922 CE. In the Indian subcontinent, the Mughal Empire, 1526 to 1857 CE, rose to prominence, leaving behind an indelible architectural legacy, most famously the iconic Taj Mahal. This opulent empire, known for its rich culture and artistic achievements, controlled a vast and wealthy region, integrating diverse peoples and traditions. However, like many before it, the Mughal Empire eventually succumbed to internal fragmentations and the encroaching power of European colonialism, notably the British, who gradually dismantled its authority. The Age of Discovery ushered in a new era of global power, driven by maritime exploration and the ambition of European empires. Initially, Portugal and Spain carved up the world, symbolically dividing it in the Treaty of Tordesillas. But it was the British Empire that ascended to become the largest empire in recorded history. By 1920, it controlled an astonishing 24% of the Earth's land area, its territories spanning every continent. It ruled over India, vast swaths of Africa, Australia, and significant parts of North America. Britain's rise was propelled by its pioneering industrial revolution, which fueled economic growth and technological innovation, and its unparalleled naval superiority, which secured its global trade routes. However, this immense empire began its inevitable decline after 2 world wars, which severely depleted its resources and shifted the global balance of power. The rise of national liberation movements across its colonies further accelerated its dismantling, leading to a gradual yet inexorable retreat. The empire's official end is often marked by the handover of Hong Kong in 1997, a symbolic sunset for the empire on which the sun once never set. Following the devastation of World War II, the traditional model of empire underwent a profound transformation.
The United States and the Soviet Union emerged as two distinct superpowers, locked in the ideological struggle known as the Cold War. The Soviet Union, representing Russia's geopolitical ambitions, ultimately disintegrated in 1991, leaving the United States as the sole dominant global power. This new form of global hegemony relies less on direct colonial rule and more on economic, technological, and cultural influence, reshaping the nature of international relations. Ancient names endure, though their forms have changed. Babylon became Iraq, Persia became Iran, Abyssinia is now Ethiopia, and Gaul is modern France. Why do these formidable powers inevitably fall? Joseph Tainter's theory suggests that as societies grow excessively complex, the cost of maintaining this complexity eventually outweighs its benefits, leading to collapse. Ibn Khaldun attributed decline to the erosion of asabiya, or social cohesion, and the ruler's descent into luxury and moral decay. History consistently teaches us that power is never truly owned. It is merely borrowed, to be reclaimed. Every empire that once believed itself eternal now stands as mere lines in history books, or desolate ruins beneath the earth. The question lingers in the air: who will be the next power to write a new chapter in humanity's grand narrative? And who will be next in line to fade into history?